The next day was Saturday. Van stood at the kitchen sink drying the breakfast dishes as her mother washed them. Mrs. Arable walked silently. She hoped Fern would go out and play with the other children instead of heading for the Zuckerman's barn to sit and watch animals. Charlotte is the best storyteller I ever heard, said Fern, poking her dish towel into a cereal bowl. Fern, said her mother sternly, you must not invent things. You know spiders don't tell stories. Spiders can't talk. Charlotte can, replied Fern. She doesn't talk very loud. She talks. What kind of story did she tell? Asked Mrs. Arable. Well, began Fern, she told me about a cousin of hers who caught a fish in her web. Do you think this fascinating? Sandy, how would a fish get in the spider's web? Said Mrs. Arable. No, it couldn't happen. You're making this up. Oh, it happened all right, said Fern. Charlotte never could. This cousin of hers built a web across his teeth. One day she was hanging around in the web and a tiny fish leaped into the air and got tangled in the web. The wish was caught but one fin. Mother, its tail was vitally fresh and as shiny as the sun. Can't you just see the web sagging dangerously under the weight of the fish? Charlotte's cousin kept swinging in, dodging out, dancing, throwing. Fern, said her mother. Stop inventing these false tales. I'm not inventing, said Fern. I'm just telling you the facts. What finally happened? Asked the mother, whose curiosity began to get better of her. Charlotte's cousin won. She wrapped the fish up and ate him really good and ready. Spiders have to eat, the same as the rest of us. Yes, I suppose they do, said Mrs. Arable. Vaguely. Charlotte has another cousin who is a balloonist. She stands on her head, lets out a lot of wine, and it's carried a lot of tender wing. Mother, wouldn't you sleepily love to do that? Yes, I would, come to think of it, replied Mrs. Arable. But Fern, darling, I wish you would play outdoors today instead of going to Uncle Homer's barn. Find some of your playmates and do something nice outdoors. You're spending too much time in that barn. It isn't for you to be alone so much. Alone? Said Fern. Alone? My best friends are in the barn cellar. It is a very sociable place. And also, not at all lonely. Fern disappeared after a while, walking down the road towards Zuckerman's. Her mother dusted the sitting room. As she walked, she kept thinking about Fern. It didn't seem natural for a little girl to be so interested in animals. Finally, Mrs. Arable made up her mind she would pay a call on Dr. Dorian and ask him his advice. She got in the car and drove to his office in the village. Dr. Dorian had a thick beard. He was glad to see Mrs. Arable and gave her a comfortable chair. It's about Fern, she explained. Fern spends entirely too much time in the Zuckerman's barn. It doesn't seem normal. She sits in a milk stool in a corner of the barn cellar near the pig pen and watches animals, hour after hour. She just sits and listens. Dr. Dorian leaned back and closed his eyes. How enchanting, he said. It must be real nice and quiet down there. Homer has some sheep, hasn't he? Yes, said Mrs. Arable, but it all started with that pig we left Fern left in our bottle. She calls him Wilbur. Homer brought the pig, and ever since it left our place, Fern has been going to her uncle's to be near it. I've been hearing things about that pig, said Dr. Dorian, opening his eyes. They say he's quite a pig. Have you heard about the words that appeared in the spider's web? Asked Mrs. Arable nervously. Yes, replied the doctor. Well, do you understand it? Asked Mrs. Arable. Understand what? Do you understand how there could be any writing in a spider's web? Oh no, said Dr. Dorian. I don't understand it. But about that matter, I don't understand how a spider learned to spin a web in the first place. When the words appeared, everyone says they have a miracle. But nobody pointed out that the web is itself a miracle. What's miraculous about a spider's web? Said Mrs. Arable. I don't see why you say a web is a miracle. It's just a web. Ever tried to spin one? Asked Dr. Dorian. Mrs. Arable shifted uneasily in her chair. No, she replied. But I can crochet a doily and I can knit a sock. Sure, said the doctor. But somebody taught you, didn't they? My mother taught me. Well, who taught the spider? A young spider knows how to spin a web without any animals would talk more. People are incessant talkers. I can give you my word on that. Oh, without any instructions from anybody. Don't you regard that as a miracle? I suppose so, said Mrs. Arable. I never looked at it that way before. Still, I don't understand how those words got into the web. I don't understand it, and I don't like that I can't understand. None of us do, said Dr. Dorian slightly. I'm a doctor. Doctors are supposed to understand everything, but I don't understand everything, and I don't intend to let it worry me. It's terrible fidgety. Fern says the animals talk to each other. Dr. Dorian, do you believe animals talk? I never heard one say anything, he replied, but that proves nothing. It's quite possible that an animal has spoken civilly to me and that they didn't catch the martin because I wasn't paying attention. Children pay better attention than grown-ups. Fern says that animals and Zuckerman's bound talk. I'm quite ready to believe her. Perhaps if people talk less, animals will talk more. People are insistent talkers. I can give you my word on that. Well, I feel better about Fern, said Mrs. Terrible. You don't think I need worry about her? Does she look well? asked the doctor. Oh, yes? Appetite good? Oh, yeah, she's always hungry. Sleep well at night? Oh, yeah. Then don't worry, said the doctor. Do you think she'll ever start thinking about something besides picking chicken, bees, and spiders? Who is Fern? Say, well, said Dr. Dorian, I think she will always love animals, but I doubt that she spends her entire life in her man Superman's bar cellar. How about boys? Does she know any boys? She knows Henry Fussy, said Mrs. Terrible brightly. Dr. Dorian closed his eyes again and went into deep thought. Henry Fussy. Remarkable. Well, I don't think we have anything to worry about. Let Fern associate with her friends live on if she wants to. I would say offhand that spiders and pigs were fully as interesting as Henry Fussy. Yeah, I predict that the day will come when even Henry will drop some child's remark that catches Fern's attention. It's amazing how children change from year to year. How's Avery? He asked, opening his eyes wide. Oh, Avery, said Mrs. Arable. Avery is always fine. First he gets into poison ivy and gets stung by wasps and bees and breaks fox and snakes home and breaks everything to listen to his answer. He's fine. Good, said the doctor. Mrs. Arable said goodbye and thanked Dr. Dorian very much for his advice. She felt greatly relieved. Chapter 15. The Crickets. Crickets sang in the grasses. They sang of summer, summer evenings, a set monotone summer. Summer is summer and gone, he said. Over and gone, over and gone. Summer is dying, dying. The crickets felt it was their duty to warn everybody that summertime cannot last forever. Even on the most beautiful days in the whole year, the days when summer is changing into autumn, the crickets spread the rumor of sadness and change. Everybody heard the sound of the cricket. Every young farmer arable heard it as they walked the dusty road. They knew that school would soon begin again. The young geese heard it and knew that there would never be little goslings again. Charlotte heard it and knew that she hadn't much time left. Mrs. Zuckerman at work in the kitchen heard the crickets and sadness came over her too. Another summer gone, she sighed. Olivia at work at building cave for Bilba, he heard the song and knew it was time to dig the beans. Summer is over and gone. Have a nice day, first. Goodbye, summer. Goodbye, goodbye. The sheep heard the cricket and they fell so uneasy they broke a hole in the pasture fence and waded up into the field across the road. Gandalf discovered the hole and led his family through. As they walked to the orchard and ate the apples that were lying on the ground, a little maple tree was small and the cricket song that turned very excited. Although it's now the center of attraction of the farm, good food and regular hours were showing results. Although it was a big animal would be proud of. One day, more than 100 people came to stand at his yard and admire him. Charlotte had written the words "Radiant," and Wilbur really looked radiant as he stood in the golden sunlight. Ever since the spider had befriended him, he had done his best to live up to his reputation. And Charlotte's web said something, Wilbur had tried to look like something. And Charlotte's web said terrific, Wilbur had to look terrific. Not that the web said radiant. He did everything possible to make himself glow. This is not easy to look radiant, but Wilbur threw himself into it with a will. He turned his head slightly and blinked his long eyelashes and beat quickly. But the salty and blue doors, he would spring into the air and dare back over the half of it. At this the crowd would yell at Chief. How's that for the pig? Said the man at last, cleaning himself. That pig is radiant. Some of Wilbur's friends in the barn worked for years and eventually was going ahead and made it start up. But he never did. Wilbur was the best and did not spoil him. He still worried about the future and Steve and Holly believed that a year's father would be able to save his life. Some of his life he would have had a bad dream. He would dream that men would come to get him with knives and guns. But it was only a dream. In the daytime, we'll be usually felt happy and comfortable. They wake up and home and we're parents. To realize that friendship is one of the most undecided things in the world. And the set of the puzzles did not make Wilbur too sad. Felix was almost done for the country path, and he was looking forward to the trip. If he completely displeased herself with the fact. Maybe when some prize running through the streets at the moment left in the Charlotte had to wear some apparel, but she gets quite about it. One morning Will asked her about the fair. You're going with me, aren't you, Charlotte? Well, I don't know. The fair comes at bedtime for me. I shall find it inconvenient to leave home even if for a few days. Why? Oh, I just don't feel like leaving my web. Too much going on around here. Please come with me, begged Clover. I need you, Charlotte. I can't stand going to the fair without you. You just got to come. No, said Charlotte. I believe I'd better stay home and see if I can get some work. What kind of work? Asked Clover. Egg laying. It's time. I met an egg sack and told you that. I didn't know you could lay eggs, said Clover. Well, sure. I'm Bristol. That's Bristol. Full of eggs? Clover. Certainly not, said Charlotte. Bristol means I get to release from one thing to another. It means that I have to limit my activity spinning and trapping and stuff like that. Why don't you come with me to the fair, Gwen, and lay your eggs there? Wonderful fun. Charlotte gave her a web twitch and moodily watched it sway. I'm afraid not, she said. You don't know that if I think about night playing over, I can arrange my family duties to split them at a show at the country fair. When I get ready to lay eggs, I have to lay eggs, fair or no fair. However, I don't want you to worry about it. You might lose weight. Well, then this is ready. I'll come to the fair if I possibly can. Oh, good, said Will. I knew you couldn't forsake me just when I need you most. And they will be staying inside, so you can life is in this chore. Charlotte rested in a depressed hopper. She knew that she couldn't have Clover much longer. In a few days, she would have to drop everything and build a beautiful little sack that would hold her eggs.